Hey guys, J-Man here with Steve for our weekly Women of World Wrestling talk. So we're going to be talking about SmackDown from March 18th and Raw from March 21st, which was just yesterday. Skeptic, you're already here. Thanks for coming in, buddy. We appreciate it. I don't think we've seen you on this one on this stream before.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, we have seen you on the stream.
Once in a while, he pops in.
Awesome. Okay, so I was a bit late because I dropped my pen. Double C, what's going on, dude?
Double C.
I'm a bit late because I was arguing with people on Nerdman's channel about Batman, which I am somewhat of an expert on. So yeah, well, everybody knows it's like don't start me up on an argument with superheroes because you're just going to be here all day. So I'm like, guys, I literally have to. I'm fighting with like 7 people or something. I'm like, I can't fight anymore. I gotta go. Okay, so let's get right into it. I was actually thinking, but we're not going to do it. But they're actually playing WrestleMania at the theater.
Oh wow!
You could go see it on the big screen. So
That's crazy.
I don't know. Like the problem is a 2-nighter, so we'd have to go. It's like $17.
Yeah.
So it's cheaper than a movie, and I think it's I don't know if it's an IMAX or not. It might be, but you pick your seat. So it's $17, but then we'd have to go to both nights, right? Because you really got to see the whole thing. So I was thinking at first, I thought, oh yeah, I should get, maybe Steve and I should go check that out because I've never seen wrestling in the theater before. I think that'd be really cool. But then I thought, it's a 2-night one, so you got to go twice, and then it's like, well, if we're each going to pay $35 a person, that's $70. We can almost just, order the pay-per-view at that point, right? And just stay at home, and I'm watching it on like a 65-inch TV or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, but if it's something to keep in mind as for fun thing to maybe do, that might be a neat experience.
Yeah, I mean, if they stopped this 2-night thing, I would be more interested because it's just the logistics and like, the cost, and then you got to get there, and and the problem is that there's so much filler this year. Like I was
thinking that myself. They probably could have made this one night and got rid of some of the other stuff.
Yeah,
that they had in there. Skeptic, we're not going to discuss Batman and all that on this stream because there's a lot of people that watch these after the fact just to get our wrestling thoughts. So I don't want to dwell too much on the Batman : overrated edition. Okay. Just going to the theater for wrestling. It might be fun. This one has a lot of filler in it, so it's in that sort of like iffy area. I think I'm good to just watch it at home. Okay, so let's dive right in. We had Naomi and Sasha versus Liv and Ria Ripley on SmackDown.
AKA what the women's title match should have been.
Right, which is basically right. So Liv for brutality, what the
Liv for brutality, which throwing 2 wrestlers together, I never liked that, but they look good together. Like
they kind of do.
They do. Like I like how Liv comes out and she's all like slapping hands, and she goes back and waits for Rhea to come back, and she's wearing the black leather, which matches Rhea, and then like Rhea does her big thing where she stomps down, and she's like and like I like how Liv does the double stomp at the same time. Because she's not as big as Ripley, so she's got to do a double.
I was just thinking she can't do it. Like like it's too. She's like this. It's like
yeah.
I love Liv. She's probably like my second or third favorite.
Yeah,
Rhea Ripley's great too.
Rhea, like my God, like they're so good. I don't know. It's preposterous. But I love that. I'm starting to really love the 2 of them together, and I don't want them to lose.
I want them to win.
Yeah, I'd love to see them.
I want them to be the tag champs.
We'll talk about our predictions next week.
Yep.
I don't necessarily think they will, and I think there's a reason why.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we'll talk about that then. So yeah, so they came out and they were against. Oh no, so it was Naomi and Sasha Banks, and then basically Zelina and Carmella. These are my notes, Skeptic, because I got to write a shit ton of notes because we're watching these matches and my memory is garbage. Like I forgot I saw the Batman. No, I'm just joking. So yeah, I have to keep notes. So yeah, so Selena and Carmella were at ringside.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's too much of his sideshow now. Like the funny thing is I've never been more interested in women wrestling. And they keep going back to these theatrics that are not good. Like they're showing Zelina and Carmella, and they're like, Zelina's giving Carmella the stink eye, and Carmella's like pretending to buff up her belt. Yeah, and like not paying attention. And it's like, okay, what's this storyline? Like they don't care about either content. Like Carmella doesn't, like, she's bored or doesn't care about either team. She doesn't think they're worth watching because, newsflash, they've wrecked you every single match you've been in since this whole thing started with them challenging for the take. Like singles matches, like they've been wrecked. They have not looked strong at all. So for her to be doing that, I'm kind of like, this character just keeps getting worse and worse.
I don't understand who thinks this is a good angle.
Yeah.
Wrestler doesn't care about wrestling.
Yeah.
Like who thought that was a good angle? Like, so Carmella, we're led to believe, doesn't care about her title, practicing for the match, even watching the match, taking notes on the match. Like, I mean, this is the storyline of the world that they're in, right? It's like, if I'm a real professional wrestler in the real world of what they're presenting, where I've got to challenge someone, I'm going to be taking notes. I'm going to watch their matches. Just like, let's say if you're in a UFC fight, what do you think these UFC fighters do? You think they sit around all day doing jack shit? They train all day. They watch the tapes of whoever they're going to be fighting against, right? The coach is pointing out flaws in the defense, looking at the tapes saying, okay, you can nail this person here. This guy's got, like, favors his right leg, or, like, so she's on her phone and like, oh, I don't care about anything. And it's like, but you're the champions. Like, and this is supposed to be the character. So the character of Carmella doesn't care about wrestling. That's what I'm getting. Yeah. And I'm thinking, well, I don't understand what I'm watching then, because you're the champion. So you obviously don't care about being the champion. So why should I care about you? That's just, I don't like that angle for anything. Like anytime they've done, they've done this with other wrestlers in other ways. Like, if what's like an example? Like, let's say when Jeff Jarrett was, promoting his music, I'm like, okay, well, are you a wrestler then? Or are you a musician? Like, what are you? And it was always weird to me, even though I really like Jeff Jarrett and I like Honky Tonk Man and all these guys, but that was always a bit weird. It's like, are you a wrestler then or not? Like,
yeah.
Like $1 Million Man was $1 Million Man. You would assumed that he had businesses that ran themselves, and in his spare time, he wants to wrestle and prove that not only is he smart in the business world where he's earned millions of dollars, he's also good in the ring of champions or whatever, right? Maybe pretending. Yeah. You know what? Okay. So actually Double C, oh man. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
I actually thought that, was that on, did they appear again or did I miss something?
They appeared again. Yeah. On Raw.
Yeah. And that's when she was pretending to, or she was on her phone and all that, right? When they were backstage.
Well, that's when she had to fight with Queen Zelina and then she came out.
Right. And then they kind of made up. So yeah. I was thinking that fight was all fake to throw people off the scent. But
yeah, so that's what it was. Yeah.
That's what, yeah. So we'll get to that. Okay.
But it was just like, the problem with what they're doing with the Carmella character is there's two types of heels. There's the heels you want to see beat because they're unbeatable. So Brock Lesnar,
right,
when he was going on that whole streak and like you know, when Drew McIntyre knocked him out of the ring, everyone's like, oh my God, because Brock Lesnar never loses, and he just comes in, and there's always the underdog, and he kicks the hell out of him and beats the hell out of him, and it's like, that's it. Then there's the heel who is just so flipping annoying, you just want to see their ass get kicked. Like, that's what happened with like Eric Bischoff in WCW. Like when they finally beat the hell out of him, is like, thank God. And this is where Carmella's getting. Like, Carmella's getting to that point where you just want to see her get wrecked in the ring. Like, just get someone smash her with a steel chair and just like wail on her. Like, it's getting to that point.
Yeah, so maybe I guess that's what they're going for. Like you're like there's some heels where you're like, well, this guy, like Triple H start to get like, is he gonna lose?
Yeah.
Like, when is Triple H gonna lose a match fair? You know? And then there was guys who were just, they're just irritating. And you're like, you know what? This guy's just irritating. Can we just beat him up already or whatever?
Yeah.
And this is where we're heading with Carmella, which I guess is okay. She does have that sort of, you know, she's the blonde kind of hot girl thing. And it's like, you do kind of be, you know, I'm thinking Zelina looks better to me, but actually,
I wouldn't disagree. Like,
it was just, I was thinking about this. I was like, I think I'm liking Zelina better in the looks wise department. But anyway,
yeah, I agree with you. Actually, Carmella is just very long. Like, her face is very long. Everything is just long, and I'm like, everything's just like long. Like, there's
she's pretty. Obviously, she's attractive.
Yeah, she's attractive. Like, you know, she's not. You wouldn't put a paper bag over her head before you take her to bed. But like, it's. I don't. You know, to me, she's very somewhat average looking, like the typical blonde, lean, blah blah blah. Zelina is more interesting to me because she's, you know, that exotic. She's Puerto Rican, blah blah blah. And she's just got the bone structure in her face. Just to me, is more appealing.
Yeah. I think yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Okay. So then Natalya and Shayna interfered or something, right? Or what the hell?
Yeah, they interfered.
That was so wonky. That was they don't want to show which of these two teams is better, so we have to have this other team come in and do some bullshit or whatever. There was a couple of moves. Backstab was in there. There's like a cool, I think Rhea does some cool drop kicks and stuff.
The Meteora was awesome.
Yeah.
It was good too to see two face teams face off. It's just, you know, just to throw some variety. And then that's
we can't have one better than the other. So
and you got four very talented performers in the ring who I mean, they didn't get all of their stuff off. Like, you didn't see the Riptide, you didn't see the split-legged moonsault, you didn't see the bank statement, like you didn't see Oblivion. But you saw some cool moves in there, and you know, Sasha Banks is a daredevil in the ring. She throws herself around pretty good. So does Liv. So it was an enjoyable match.
It's good. I mean, and anytime there's interference, I'm always like, but it is what it is. I understand why it's happening. So
yeah, I wasn't mad or anything because I figured out they got to probably include Shayna and Natalya because you got two very, you know, solid technical wrestlers, known commodities. Why would they not be included if you're including Carmella and her phone in this match? So.
And then that was it for SmackDown, except for Charlotte and Rhonda fighting.
Again, this was good because, and they even said to Rhonda, it's a trap, you know, it's a trap, and she went out anyway. And again, smart move. Let Charlotte get some offense in, make this more of a, who's going to win? Like, this will be a good match sort of thing, as opposed to just a one-sided Rhonda kicks her ass affair.
Yeah, I mean, I like Charlotte, so it's like, and I like Rhonda too. So like, I mean, there's not a lot of matches that are the women's matches in WrestleMania, but the ones that they have, I am
interested in. Yeah. And also Charlotte made Rhonda bleed.
Oh, did she bleed?
She was bleeding around the mouth.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. A little bit. Yeah. Yeah. So that's real, right? Because they don't do
bleeding anymore.
Right? Someone else bled. Was it one of the men?
Brock Lesnar bled in that thing they kept showing 100 times at Madison Square Garden.
So what happened at Madison Square Garden? Man, I don't know why they thought they captured the most interesting footage of all time. It's like
I know. It's like that guy Dos Equals. He's the most interesting man of all time. This is the most interesting footage of all time.
I know, yeah. yeah. Dos Equis. It's
yeah.
Like, this is the most interesting match of all time. It's like, okay.
So Roman Reigns sneak attacked Brock Lesnar and beat him up, and we have to see this for 7 straight weeks.
I know, it's gonna be like a year later. It's like Madison Square Garden, 1 year anniversary.
Like, what are they doing?
Like, I don't get it. I know. It's like stop it.
It's like stop it, please.
I wrote kendo sticks.
Stop showing this.
I wrote kendo sticks, and I don't know why I wrote that now.
Charlotte brought out kendo sticks at 2 points and used them on Rhonda. First time I think she missed, and the second time she hit.
Okay, yeah. I was like, I wrote kendo sticks, and then I'm like, why did I write that? And the problem is I've been watching a few Jeff Speakman retrospectives. He always uses. So I thought, did I accidentally write Jeff Speakman notes on this?
You're like Perfect Weapon.
Yeah, Perfect Weapon. Wait, who's that? Is that a new wrestler? Like, they should have someone called the Perfect Weapon.
That would work.
That would be awesome.
That would work.
Oh my god. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Frank Duke stuff and just going through all of these old guys. Rewatching the best of the best movies.
Oh yeah.
I really want to do a retrospective on those. But okay, so that was it for SmackDown, man. I mean,
yeah. Apparently, if you're not in any of the 3 WrestleMania matches, you don't get any screen time anymore.
Yeah, you're done. I mean, basically, you're like Liv has to be one of your favorite wrestlers because she's the only one who ever shows up.
And she shows up to both shows.
She's awesome. I maybe I will get the action figure. I was toying with the idea, and I spent a lot of money this month on crap, like shirts, hats. This hat was freaking like $70 or something.
Yeah.
So
hats are outrageous.
But yeah, so that's why I gotta get the most out of this hat now.
You wear the bat and all that.
if you wear it this way, it's got the bat symbol on it. But then I look like a total loser. I don't think like this just looks weird to me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no. Okay. So then last night's Raw, we had Carmella and Zelina, and this was the phone thing, which we're saying was faked. Like they faked it back. But this is a movie thing. So this is like a kayfabe. This is a wrestling thing where you're just like, yeah, but how did they know that was going to be filmed?
Yeah.
And we were going to see, you know what I mean? Like it's one of those that it's like a movie thing. Like, how did you know that guy was going to walk into that restaurant? And
it's uncanny how the backstage people always seem to know when a conversation's going to take place that we need to see or a fight's going to take place.
They're just like, I mean, there's some parts where the girl or whoever interviews and it's like, hey, we're here with, Liv Morgan. Yeah, we're going to win. Okay. But these ones where it's just like, they're just 2 people talking. You're like, how did you know to film that? That is weird. Like, is there not other people talking? Like, I want to see like 2 guys mopping the floor and being like, I think my paycheck was late or something. One guy's like, I got docked money. And then like maybe he's like mopping, and then like Brock Lesnar walks by and the guy mops into Brock Lesnar's leg, and then Brock Lesnar like power bombs the janitor or something.
German suplexes.
Stone Cold. I will say that Stone Cold thing with whatever that guy's name is, KO, Kevin Owens, that's his name.
Yeah.
I actually laughed. He came out and I was like, is Stone Cold actually coming out? And then he came out. I was like, oh, that's funny. And then when the music started again, and he was like pretending to wait, and then no one came out. He's I got you again. And now I couldn't tell if he said the fool me thing wrong because he messed up or they corrected, or if he meant to say it wrong. Because it's like fool me once, shame on me. But he goes, shame on you. Fool you once, shame on you. Fool you twice. Well, how dumb are you?
Yeah, he seemed to say it weird, and I think he's like, oh crap, I screwed up the line.
Yeah, so then he reset it. He goes, fool me twice. He goes, you're an idiot, huh? He said that's what George Bush did that one time, and where he's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you're not gonna fool me again. You're like, no, that's not it.
Well, the one funny thing too was I like when wrestlers because the crowd has and I love Stone Cold Steve Austin, but when he introduced
oh, I know,
because that's what they do every single thing now. Like if there's a person out there they don't care about and they pause, what? So he started to do back to them and they booed him, and I'm like, I bet every wrestler in the back wants to do that. Right? Whoa. Like I remember seeing The Undertaker, they were going, what? And he's like, if you sleep with your sister, say what? They're like, what? And then they're like, oh, boo.
Yeah, remember that Sphincter says what from Wayne's World or whatever. Yeah. and then Christopher Walken's like, you want me to say what, right? Like I don't get it.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay. I like that was Wayne's World 2. I really like both Wayne's World movies. Yeah. We should do versus Wayne's World 1 versus Wayne's World 2. That would be virtually impossible.
Yeah.
Because both movies are brilliant, but it's like the Sphincter says what? And Christopher Walken's like, you want me to say what, right? Like I don't get it. Yeah. Okay, it worked on the last guy, and then they're all
It's Christopher Walken too,
which makes it funnier, right? Yeah, he's just like standing there, like, yeah, I don't like. Is this funny? Yeah. Like, I don't get it. Okay. Then we had Liv again with Ria versus Natalya and Shayna.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few good hits.
Yeah,
Liv got hit pretty good, and Liv got pinned, which I was a little bit surprised.
Yeah, and again, how they did it was
it was a scepter. Like, what's her face came in with that stupid scepter or whatever.
I will say, and the wrestler, the commentators themselves, I'm like, guys, do you ever watch what came before now? Because they were saying like.
I always thought Booker T was cool. He was one of the few guys that transitioned from WCW or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, oh, this guy's really good. He just like this big long legs and like do the scissor kicks and all that.
Oh, I just love the five-time world. Can you dig that, sucker?
Yeah, that's from the Warriors, man.
Warriors. And when I saw Warriors, I'm like, oh my god, he took it from the Warriors, and that made me like Booker T even more.
Yeah. Cyrus is he's the one and only.
Yes,
Cyrus is the one and only. And when I've seen Warriors 4,000 times. So, but yeah, when it was like, can you? And then sometimes he's like, can you dig it? And then he'd leave for a while.
Yeah.
And then it'd be like a minute later, Saga! Like, what happened there? What is going on?
I think he like did that in like a grocery store or something by the frozen food section. He did that to someone else. What the hell?
Can you dig it?
When they made him a comedy team with Goldust, and it worked. That was when Goldust was like he'd been electrocuted, so he would occasionally go.
Man, I loved Goldust. So when I saw a Goldust was like my favorite. When I was at one of the shows and the Goldust fell, I grabbed a piece. I still have it.
Oh, nice!
I grabbed a piece of Goldust and saved it, and I still have that. I think I still have that in my little personal collection of oddities that I've collected throughout my 44 years on the planet.
Well,
okay. Yeah.
So the finishing move was the heart attack, which is what the Heart Foundation.
Yes.
And they said, "Oh, it's an assisted close." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Heart attack?"
I'm like, I was like, they didn't say the name of this, because I'd forgotten what it was called. Like, oh, it's the friggin' Bret Hart move. It's the Hart Foundation move.
Yeah.
And they didn't say it. I'm like, oh shit, they didn't say the name. And then I thought, did I miss? Because like I was like, did I miss it? And yeah, they didn't say it. What did they call it?
An assisted clothesline.
What? Are they not allowed to say heart attack or whatever?
Bret Hart has cleared up with the WWE.
So he's good. Like, why is that? Yeah. That's a great move for them to use.
Well, it's perfect. And it's Natalya. Like, they say all the time, Natalya is a member of the Hart family, like real life. So call out, like, when she puts the sharpshooter on, they don't say it's a modified Boston Crab. It's like, it's a sharpshooter. Yeah. So
yeah, I
don't get it. I thought that was weak sauce. And Rio didn't get. Was Rhea tagged into the ring?
If she was, she never took any damage. They beat up poor Liv.
Yeah, they beat the hell out of Liv, and Liv really sells well. Like, she really sells well. She constantly.
I felt bad for her.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, Rhea, get in there, man. But
yeah, dude, yeah, get in there, man. Get it in.
But I would say, finally, finally, the champions got some offense in.
Right. Remember that?
Yeah. Remember when the champions were champions because they actually beat people instead of what the hell they're doing now? So like, and Carmella gave her the one person that frigging, kick. And I'm like, there you go. Offense. Remember offense? You don't put a mask on.
Often makes the best defense.
Yeah.
It has been said.
So I don't know. I was glad they did that finally, and beat everyone up. But I don't know. It's a little too late for my blood.
Yeah, we're pretty sure Rhonda's gonna win, but it's not I wouldn't say it's 100% Rhonda's gonna win. Right. But it's 100% that they're losing the belts.
Yeah.
Like, that is 100%. And I'm going to go, I mean, and one of them is, Carmella's going to get pinned.
Yeah, I could see that.
Or whatever, right? It's like, there's no way they're retaining the titles.
No.
That team is super uninteresting. Yeah. I don't find Naomi and Sasha Banks to be interesting together.
No.
I find them to be interesting on their own.
Yeah.
But not together. And I don't think that's really a valid team. I don't even think Natalya and Shayna really fit together either. They seem too different.
They just put them together because they're two very technical veteran wrestlers,
and they got nothing to do right now, so put them in there. But Liv and Ria seem like they actually, and because they gave them a name now, Liv for Brutality, they kind of looks like they're pushing them as one. And now Liv has adopted her look a little bit to match.
Real.
It's that demolition style kind of, the leather and the studs and all that. So it's like they've matched them together a bit more. So I think I think they're good. Well, Liv, I just love her now. So she's like, I just love Liv. So it's like I want her to win. And Rhea Ripley is awesome. I saw her figure today at Toys. I went to Toys R Us today and bought some more Batman toys.
Nice.
And animated series Batman.
Well,
I showed them to you, but they're over in the other. I bought all the other. I bought the Batman. I already bought all the toys for that. I own everything for that. They restocked on the Batman Todd McFarlane figure if anyone wants them. Oh no, you don't have Toys R Us in the States. We only have it here. Steve has a Toys R Us across the street from where he lives, and I have one across the street from where I live, and we don't live near each other. So, boy, everyone hates me. Anytime I go on these other streams, I'm like, yeah, I just walked over to Toys R Us today and bought all the Batman toys. Like, what do you mean you walked over to Toys R Us? I'm like, yeah, it's like right here.
Yeah.
So they've got Rhea Ripley. She comes packaged like this. She's in the package
like that.
So if you want to keep her in the package, you actually have the pose.
That is well, I was thinking of seeing if the Hero Clicks are out for her, because I know they have Rhonda, they have Asuka, they have
wow.
I have Sasha and Charlotte, but they have Rhonda, they have Becky, they have Asuka. I was thinking of seeing if they had Rhea and Liv.
I don't know. They might have it. You could check the. I mean, I would check the shops, and I think you can go on their official website too.
Yeah.
I'm still logged in from when we did our tournaments. I still have an account or whatever. I have a record. I have a win record from the tournaments that we played. Okay, so Becky came out with like the most ridiculous sunglasses and all that.
I thought it was like a visor. I'm like, why has she got a visor on? Is she doing taxes? Like, what the hell is that?
Becky Lynch is the best.
I know.
She's super funny. I love this heel, Becky. I think it's a genius. Her just sitting down, her with the chair.
Yeah.
So was Bianca hurt for real or no?
No.
Yeah, it's fake, right? Yeah, I thought so.
But I feel like she did give a good promo. Like Becky, a terrific promo. You know, she said she sold her soul for the belt. Like, it was really, you know, upping the game. Like, because you have to do that because Bianca Belair is just incredible.
She's awesome, man.
Right? She's incredible.
Yeah, goddamn.
You can't do, like, there's very few people who can match up with her, like, and have, like, a chance. Like, I thought Doudrop match up, but she just owned Doudrop, like, the last.
I don't know. Bianca's sort of like total package. She's very pretty. She has a good physique. She's strong. The fans like her. She's got this hair thing going for her that's very unique. That's just a well-built character.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like I have zero negatives. I don't know what to say. Like, she's a very strong character.
The EST is the WWE.
If someone says that that's their favorite, like, I would be like, I like Liv, I like Rhea Ripley, I like Becky, I like Rhonda, but Bianca would definitely be in my top 10 or whatever. Well, I don't even know if there's 10, but like, I like everyone down in this picture, I think. Like, I mean, she's awesome. So if someone says like that's their number one, then yeah. Like, I mean, if we went to that VIP experience and she was the person we met, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's awesome.
That'd be awesome.
So she is awesome. Yeah, I don't know because like I don't know. She has a lot of like Becky's just awesome because she's funny and I like her. I love that promo. I thought it was great having the chair that she used on her. And it's like, oh, you know, just the accent and everything. Becky Lynch is like total package, just like her look and having those like these weird glasses and I don't know. I just thought it was so funny. And she's like, I sold my soul and everything. I'm like, it was a really good. That was the only time someone sat in the middle of the ring and talked that I actually cared.
Yeah,
at least in the last 2 months. Because anytime someone comes out and talks, I think Brock Lesnar talked in one of these 2 shows. And I was like, God, this is like terrible. I'm like, why do they even have this? Like, Brock Lesnar should just attack people with trucks or forklifts or whatever. Brock Lesnar should not come out and say many words at all, if anything.
No, they got it down perfectly. Like when he came out and he used Austin Theory for a hat rack. And then like he took his picture, like he pretended to take his picture with him after beating the hell out of him.
Right.
That's great. Like there was this one thing I remember where I think I told you this. R-Truth, it was just before the Royal Rumble. R-Truth came out and and Paul Heyman was in the ring with Brock Lesnar and he was talking and Brock Lesnar was not saying anything. And they're like, oh, you know, Brock Lesnar's in the Royal Rumble, and that's going to be it for everyone, and blah, 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 blah. And people booed, and they pretended to leave, and then they went back and said, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. R-Truth came out. And R-Truth came out, and he's like, I challenge Paul Heyman to the Royal Rumble, like, whatever. And he's like, I'm entering the Royal Rumble, you know, and he said what he was, you know, the most blah, 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 blah. And he's like, and I'm challenging Paul Heyman, you know, I'm going to take him out. And Paul Heyman's like literally in the corner like this, like, and I think he was trying not to laugh. And then, but he was pretending to be like, like upset. Like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Like, I can't even take it. And Brock Lesnar literally laughed through R-Truth's entire promo. Like, he literally laughed. He did not stop laughing. And then like and then Paul Heyman's like, I'm not entering the Royal Rumble. You gotta face Brock Lesnar. And R-Truth's like, I gotta face Brock Lesnar. He's like, yes. He's like, R-Truth, the most blah blah blah, is not entering the Royal Rumble. and like Brock Lesnar's dying.
It's hard sometimes too, because like, you know, it's like, if people are funny or whatever, like I remember like Bobby Heenan, like when he would say some stuff and and you got to be careful who you're showing, because they're going to be laughing like, and like, I don't know how Gorilla Monsoon kept like as straight as he did. I'm sure if the cameras were on them more often, we would have seen Gorilla laughing more. Because like there's just some outrageous stuff that's being said, and you're like, okay, like how are you not laughing over this? But yeah, I mean, sometimes it's like Paul Heyman's a professional, but you can't help it, right? Like I don't know, Paul Heyman's basically the Bobby Heenan of our of this time now,
of this time period,
And
yeah, it goes when
I mean, like, what are you gonna? Yeah, like I'm surprised they're not laughing more often than not, because I've seen backstage stuff too, and I'm telling you, I was watching the Ronda Rousey's back, because I follow her on her stuff, and she shows backstage stuff, and it's like her and Shayna Baszler or whatever, like playing with the baby. I'm like, and then Shayna comes out and she's trying to murder people with like that's like, it's like, okay, like what is happening here? Like, and she's like playing with the baby, like and like squeezing the cheeks. I'm like, what is going on?
Well, Kevin Owens had, I remember they showed this, I don't remember what it was, if it was a house show, I think, and it was Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns, and Kevin Owens had Roman Reigns in his headlock, and it's a headlock, so, and he's like leaning on him, and they're on the ground, so he's got him in this headlock or whatnot, or this like, you know, move where he's got him under the chin. I don't remember what it was. You could see Roman Reigns' face, but he's trying to be like, I'm in agony.
I'm in pain, yeah.
And Kevin Owens is yelling at this one fan, and he's like, "How much do you make? How much do you make?" He's like, I made $40,000 just on stuff you buy at the concessions and all that. He's like, do you make that? He's like yelling at this guy, and Roman Reigns is dying in this head. Like, he's literally dying. And even people are like, look at Roman. He's dying. And Roman can't help it. He's like crying with laughter.
Yeah, Roman. Yeah, it's like Roman Reigns is trying to, it's like, buddy, I'm trying to pretend to be hurt here. Can
yeah, and Kevin Owens is randomly yelling at this guy.
Oh my God, that's great. Okay, so Becky's thing was great.
Yeah.
Then we had that pointless.
Oh God! Stop it!
Stop it! It's like, okay, I got
Why? Why, God? Why?
Like, okay, hold on.
That's a fucking 50 DKP minus.
Yeah, it really is. Those things last literally.
It's like, stop it with these.
It's like these matches last 52 seconds, and it's pointless. There's no stakes to winning, losing, or anything.
Yeah, like, nobody cares.
No, like literally, that was it. And God help, the only reason you don't leave to take a leak is because the match is so freaking fast that it's like
there's no time.
Not even. You know, you can't even get to the can in time.
I started to write notes, and it's like my notes from university. Remember when I would take notes from university, and I buy like a notepad, and it'd be like one line. You're like,
no, the best.
Well, I used to fold it up as a piece of paper. It was one piece of paper that I folded in my pocket, and I'd unfold it and be like, okay, let's listen to the lecture. And I wrote down one line. I'm like, that was it. This lecture sucks. It's like
your notes during Annie Hall are legend.
I got to rewatch Annie Hall. It beat Star Wars.
You're not. And then remember, we were trying to write the essay, and there's like, oh, the split screen, and we're like, what split screen? And we saw it the previous day or something.
I still don't remember if there actually was a split.
That never got screen. When I thought about it, I remembered a split screen. But
okay,
it was so like who cares? Like, I didn't even pay
that's attention. Been unresolved for 20 years because like, I don't remember if I'm like, so was there a split? Like, it was never. I was never made clear after all that discussion. I'm like, I can't remember if there actually was one or not.
There was one.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, that's pretty much it. It was like, it's really slim pickings. So we got how many? One more? What's the date today?
We got one more SmackDown and two more SmackDowns and one more Raw.
All right, so we got this SmackDown, then a Raw, then a SmackDown, and then it's the 2 nights.
And then maybe we'll see other women wrestlers show up again.
Yeah, and then Raw. So next week's episode will be the same as this week's. We've got the 2 shows. The week after that, it'll be longer because we'll have Mania to go through as well, plus the SmackDown and the Raw. So, well, it won't be that bad because WrestleMania doesn't have that many women's matches anyways. So no. I don't think it's going to be that crazy.
Well, but even next week we'll have our predictions.
Yeah.
So
where's Alexa Bliss? Okay, even if I'm looking at the ladies in in our screen here, I mean Sonia Deville, is that even a character that we need? Like, I actually like Sonia Deville.
Yeah.
I think I like her look. I like this I like this angle.
Mm-hmm.
But it is the biggest WHO who gives a shit ever. Like, do something with this person. I haven't seen her fight that often. From what I saw, she looked okay. And she's got a unique look to herself. Like, I think she looks good, and she's got sort of like I don't want to say she's not Amazon, but like complexion wise, like she looks very interesting. So do something with this person. Rhonda, Liv, Charlotte, okay, Becky, yeah, Alexa Bliss, like where is
on Raw, you're missing Alexa Bliss. You're missing. Well, Doudrop didn't show up. She was there with Nikki ASH previous week, so we'll say that. But you're missing Alexa Bliss. They're basically utilizing the rest of the Raw females, but like on SmackDown, you got Aaliyah, who's been MIA for a while.
Yep.
You got Shotzi, who disappeared. You got Zia Lee, who disappeared, and you got Sonya Deville, who's basically,
Yeah, I'm checking the app right now to see.
And then,
like, you can't remember everybody.
And then you have Asuka, who is nowhere to be found. Bayley, who's still injured. Lacey Evans, who's still on maternity leave. But you're also like, if you look at the NXT ladies, there's like 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. There's 25 NXT wrestlers.
There's a lot. Yeah.
For females. And that equals 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. That is more than SmackDown and Raw combined.
Wow.
And even if you get back those 3 names, so Asuka and that who I mentioned are missing, that's still more than their roster would be. You got to start bringing some of those females up.
Yeah.
Because there's only so many times I can watch Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. There's only so many times.
Where's Bayley right now?
She's got a torn ACL. So
okay.
She's inactive. And when she's wrestling, she's one of the top ones. Yeah. Yeah,
I know.
Exactly,
Hey,
Joe.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I bought the stupid shirt of Alexa Bliss, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I did too.
It's like, yeah, we both bought this shirt, right?
Yeah. They brought her back. They did all these
Bliss.
skits to show that she's, quote unquote, better. She came back to Saudi Arabia Elimination Chamber, didn't win, and yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm going through the roster here. Yeah, Doudrop, like, okay, so well, she was on last week and Nikki ASH was on. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it seems like we're missing a lot of people. Yeah, NXT has a lot.
NXT
a lot
has
of these people I don't recognize.
Like, and it's very simple. You bring up Mandy Rose and you bring up the female champs who are the hell's the name of them?
Oh, I'll tell you. Female champs in NXT.
Yeah.
Gigi Doolin. or Dolan.
But there's a name to them. It's a name.
JC Jane is one of the tag
Toxic
champions.
Attraction.
Mandy Rose is women's champion.
Yeah, so the three of them, Mandy Rose and the tag champs are Toxic Attraction.
Ah, okay.
So you have the ability to bring those three up and say they're the new Absolution. They're the new ones, because Absolution was Paige, Mandy Rose, and Sonia Deville. And they were running ramshot through people until Paige got the neck injury that forced her to retire.
She was pretty much done, yeah.
Yeah. So there was nothing wrong with that angle. It's just unfortunate because the main ringleader for it, but they were beating up all the women to the fact that heels and faces were banding together against them. It was a common enemy, which was a cool angle. And they just, as soon as Paige got the neck injury, that was it.
Yeah, it's like Paige was the be all end all. It's like so Double C, for the after, and then that'll be a
usually after WrestleMania they bring up some talent and they bring in some talent, but it just doesn't make sense. Like they what they're doing with Alexa Bliss, what they've done with Zia Lee, the fact we haven't seen Asuka in a while. Like she's healed, but they're not bringing her back.
You can watch a lot of stuff through this app, eh?
Yeah,
they've got WrestleMania for free. They've got a few WrestleManias for free. You can just watch the whole thing.
Yeah. So
I should go through this, and I watched one of the old Elimination Chamber. Not I saw this year's obviously, but the previous years. So you can go back and watch some of these to catch up on what's going on or whatever. Do you know if that let me check Amazon and see if that Royal Rumble came out. Remember we were not sure if that was
supposed to come out the 8th. Yeah.
Royal Rumble 2022.
Yeah.
2022. Yeah. It came out $17 Canadian. Oh my God, there's a new Earthquake figure. I love Earthquake.
Oh dear. There he is. 7 earthquakes to Hulk Hogan.
When Earthquake gave Hulk Hogan those 7 earthquakes, I literally was crying my eyes out. I love Hulk Hogan, but I was like, at some point it got too it's like earthquake. You're like, holy shit, he gave him an earthquake. Then he gave him another one. You're like, oh man. And then 2, 3. I was like, wow. And then I'm like, okay, like how many? I'm like, Hulk Hogan's dead.
Remember, you could write in to Hulk. I knew someone who did that.
I'm sorry you suffered 7 earthquakes.
I hope you recover.
No, but because one earthquake would knock a guy out for forever. He'd be dead, right? And it's like, I'm like, by the 4th earthquake, you've just murdered someone. Do you remember when Earthquake was going to give an earthquake to Jake the Snake's snake?
Yeah. And the commentators were like, he was going to kill a puppy or something. I'm like,
it's like you can't sit on the snake. It's like boof, boof, boof. Like this can't happen. You can't actually have a 400-pound man sit his ass on this snake or everything. Oh my God, I love Earthquake John Tenta.
Yeah.
And he was a sumo.
He was,
wrestler. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a sumo tournament going on right now as well, which I'm like 7 days behind, but they're only 20 minutes each day, so I can catch up very quickly. But yeah, he was in sumo, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
But I love Earthquake. Canadian. He's Canadian. Yeah. So there's the new figure has the Canadian flag on his belly. I'm not going to get it because I've got I don't know what they're not LJN. What are these? What are these called?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but
yeah.
I remember Quake Hogan injury angle. Yeah, they had Vince sort of break characters show concern. I know, it was just like it was just too funny.
It was like Hogan was murdered.
And then who would go on the Brother Love show? Anyone who goes on Brother Love is literally attacked from behind. And it's I love you, then boom. And then it's like, and you're like, why would I ever go on that? Like, imagine if every time you went on Letterman or Leno or
Johnny Carson.
Who's the new people? Jimmy Kimmel's one of the new people.
Jimmy Kimmel.
What's the other guy's name?
I don't know. He was on.
I don't know these people.
SNL.
I don't know. I don't want. None of them are funny to me, to be honest. I don't care about
Jimmy Fallon.
Fallon. I don't find Fallon or Kimmel very funny at all. But whatever. Imagine go on that Jimmy Fallon and someone attacks from behind, and then the next, someone else comes on. You'd be like, I'm not going on this show anymore because I'm just going to get attacked from behind.
Brother Love was the first manager for The Undertaker.
I love you.
I'm like, why would you put The Undertaker with the Brother Love? They are the exact opposite of what you.
I mean, that was like the silliest angle of all time. I just could not take, like, Brother Love was hilarious. And same with like the barber shop, and it's like, why would I go to a barber shop to do an interview?
Piper's Pit. You don't think Roddy Piper's going to attack you?
Yeah, like when he wasn't an active fighter, then okay.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're involved in angles and like, why are you even on here? Oh, Sean, what's going on, brother? Talk shows into trophies. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Bobby the Brain Heenan TV series?
Yes.
And he had those 3 large women and called them the Oinkers or something, or the Oinkettes. This is mind-boggling. Imagine you had these 3 large women come on and he calls them the Oinkers or the I'm like, are you for real? Or the Heifers or something?
Oh, ham and eggers. He kept it was ham and eggers he would call people or mouth breathers or. But wasn't there like a Fuji Vice? Mr. Fuji was like they did a Fuji Vice thing.
Fuji Vice.
What the hell is the Heartbreak Hotel? And and I think didn't Shawn Michaels kick Jannetty at the barbershop? Like he kicked.
Yeah, that's my favorite segment of all of wrestling because Bobby the Brain Heenan is like, it's like he's like, okay, he goes, and Marty Jannetty's like, are we gonna be the Rockers and go on rocking and rolling like we've always been doing? And then it's like, yeah, and they shake hands, and Bobby the Brain Heenan's like, I told you, Monsoon, they can't break up. One is no good without the other. and then Shawn Michaels gives the super kick and then throws him through the glass. He's like, oh my God, I knew it. And he's like, he goes, he doesn't need Jannetty, right? And he's like, he goes, my God, Jannetty tried to escape by jumping through the window. He's like, Jannetty tried to jump through the window to escape. And Gorilla Monsoon is like, are you for real? Like, are you blind? I cried my eyes out.
Is the occipital protuberance area. And Jesse Ventura was like quiet for like 5 seconds because he's literally like, I don't even know how to respond. Like, and then he literally went like, what?
What is that?
He's like, the bump on the back of your head. He's like, then say the bump on the back of your head.
Oh, Christ. But no, but seriously, yeah, Jannetty tried to escape by jumping through the window. Are you blind, Heenan? Are you blind? Oh, my God. Don Morocco was...
Yeah. Morocco. It's ridiculous.
Upper occipital protuberance.
It was like, what? And like Ventura went quiet because Ventura never shut up. Right. When he was on, he never shut up. And he went dead quiet. And you're like, I think he even got him that time. He's like, the what?
Oh my God. That was awesome. All right. Well, we've gone for the hour, so let's end it off there. So no stream tomorrow, but Sean and I are going to be back in the Phantom Zone. We're talking about some 90s comic books. We're going to talk about the releases that came out in February of 1990. We already covered every comic that came out in January 1990. Sean and I discussed that last stream, which you can see on the channel. And this week we're going to go through everything that happened in February of 1990. All the comics came out from all publishers. And we are going to focus on a Spider-Man story, the Spider-Man story that was out in January, February of 1990. So this is the first Amazing Spider-Man storyline, which was the Punisher teaming up with Spider-Man. I don't know if you've read up to that point, Steve. It's like 300 something.
Which one? 500?
I believe it. I believe it's 330 or something like that.
I'm almost there. I'm at 304.
Okay, so this is where the Punisher and Spider-Man team up, and there's some drugs involved. So they team up to take down these drug dealers, and there's a little bit of a twist to it. So Steve, if you don't want the twist to be spoiled, then I can't believe I'm going to say this. Don't watch the stream, or read everything you can up until read all the way up to it,
and then watch it.
And then what? But we're going to go through those two books, and then I think this weekend we're going to take a break. This weekend, Sean and I are going to a comic book show that we've been waiting on for a while now. It's not the big one that Sean and I really like going to. I'm going to try. It's 3:30. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, so 3:30. I thought it was 3:30. Yeah, 3:30, 3:31. We're going to look at those two. 30-year spoiler. Yeah, I know. Spoilers. This comic came out 30 years ago. We're gonna go to a comic show. I'm gonna try to get some footage at the show if I can, and maybe present a video on it. And I'm also getting ready to present my Superman television show concept, which I'm gonna do a video for. I'm gonna present this as what I would like to see have done with the Brandon Routh Crisis on Infinite Earths Superman. Brandon Routh was great in Crisis on the CW, which is normally trash. Hey, Brandon, how's it going, dude? Oh, you just watched the Janetti thing? Oh, I swear to God that it's like, oh my God, he tried to escape by jumping through the window. It's like, are you blind, brain, or whatever? It's like, I watch. I have that on favorites. I watch it every so often. And Steve, you and I need to do a special stream on the Shockmaster.
Oh God!
Because I haven't tested it on a family member's passing,
right?
But any other time I've ever been sad, this has cheered me up and made me laugh. I haven't crossed your fingers. I don't want to test this theory on a family member passing away,
right?
But except for a family person passing away. Every time I've ever been angry at work, upset over something, pissed off, sad, I'll watch the Shockmaster debut and I'm back. It is the funniest thing. I'm going to say it might be one of the funniest things ever filmed. and it's for one reason, and it's because of Sid Vicious, who is overacting. He's like, who is that? Who is the fart? And Shockmaster's like flapping over. And Sid Vicious is still going, I don't care who you are. Oh, yeah. Guys, if you haven't seen the debut of Shockmaster, do yourself a major favor. And I'm going to find it right now and put the link in the description. Hold on. I swear to God. The Shockmaster debut is the funniest thing ever. Shockmaster debut. I'm gonna find it. Put the link in the chat. Hold on. I've got it here. I have viewed it. There's 2.2 million views. 1 million of those is me. Okay, putting it in the chat.
Oh my god, that is too funny.
Okay.
Does Superman
Yes, we did do the death of Superman. We did the death of Superman. That was our second or third stream on the 90s books. I think it's a great story. I know it was a gimmick. It doesn't matter. A gimmick is a gimmick. Everything's made to sell money or to get money. So I know I love Tugboat, man. Tugboat is great. Seriously, I know. I actually really like Tugboat. Like Typhoon and Earthquake, I thought was a very interesting tag
natural
team.
Disasters, yeah.
Natural Disasters. I thought that worked really well. They're just big, massive guys. I like Tugboat, and he's been very, very cool about this entire situation, and I think he's a trooper. And I do feel really bad because that probably could have been a good angle, but it was just so awful. And gives the credit. I know.
Yeah.
Joe, no, because everyone else. I would get a Shockmaster tattoo. I swear to God, if I was, it's just that they cost a lot of money. It's about $150 to $200 an hour for a tattoo, depending on what artist you go to. So my next one's going to be Wonder Woman up here. I got to still do Daredevil and probably Wolverine. So once I get those, but I would literally consider getting a Shockmaster tattoo or something because it just makes me laugh. Okay, so yeah, no. So Sid Vicious, Sid Justice, however you know him, he stayed in character throughout that entire fiasco. And I've actually watched the entire, like, how it happened, why it happened in that way, like what was wrong, why they couldn't cut away. It was literally on stage in the corner of the arena. So everyone was there watching it. You couldn't move away from it. Like it was there. It wasn't like it was, they should have filmed it somewhere else and edited it, you know, like really in hindsight, anytime there's like an explosion or some sort of thing, you know, where someone's breaking through something or some kind of effects are involved, you should pre-record that and then show it on the Titantron or whatever. It was just a disaster. I know Brennan and I used to talk wrestling all the time. Dude, man, Shockmaster is just the best. But yeah, okay. So the link is in the chat for my buddy Shockmaster, and just the fail of that. But it's really interesting to watch the whole history of Shockmaster. So just look for the history of Shockmaster. It'll explain, and then it'll explain what happened afterwards, where they tried to sort of save the gimmick and they made him a little bit of a clumsy character, and then they retooled it a bit. It just wasn't the same because it just was sort of a ruined opportunity. It's live TV, it's wrestling. I mean, I guess I'd rather fall on my face than have a broken neck like that. What's his face?
Big E. Yeah.
Big E. I'd rather have me trip on my face and people laugh than me now being in the hospital. But that Big E guy is a trooper. He was very kind and very like relaxed. He's like, everything's good, guys. You know, it's all good. I'm like, wow. Like I think I'd be a little bit more angry, and I don't maybe he doesn't want to say it in real life, but I haven't seen anything where he's been slamming anybody. Maybe he has. I don't know. But he's been pretty good.
I think if there's a history of the wrestler hurting people, it's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know anything about Ridge Holland other than the fact that he's in that whole gimmick with Sheamus. And he just came up from NXT. I assume, you know, he
must feel so bad.
Oh, during the match, you could see he was like destroyed that happened to Big E. Like,
I mean, that's a tragedy, but oh man,
you can watch, if you actually watch what happens, you can see Kofi take the hit, and you can see the referee literally telling Kofi that Big E is hurt.
Right.
And you can see that the heel characters are like, other than Ridge Holland, who I think was immobilized basically by what happened. You could see Sheamus and Butch trying to figure out, okay, how do we finish this off? Because we need to end this now to get the paramedics down there for Big E. Like we have to end it now and get them. And they sort of finished off that last spot so that they could do that. Because at that point, when someone's like actual health has been compromised in that way, like I remember watching Jericho versus he's called Pac now in AEW. I forget what he was called in WWE. And he rolled through, and you literally saw him break his ankle when he rolled through. He did a roll through, and he broke his ankle. It was just a freak thing. And Jericho, you could literally hear this when you were watching the match. So this guy was trying to recover. Jericho turned, and it was Charles Robinson, who was, remember, he was Little Nate?
Yes.
He was the ref, jobbed him. And you literally heard him say, disqualify me. And Charles Robinson didn't understand. He didn't know that the other guy was hurt. So he's like, why are you pushing me in that? And he literally like pushed him again. He's like, disqualify me. He's like, he's hurt. End the match. Disqualify me. Because when someone's hurt, the match ends. That's it. You just got to finish it.
Oh, man. That's why sometimes I do get a bit pissed off when people say, oh, wrestling's fake and bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's scripted, but there's people, putting themselves on the line to give you entertainment. It's like, you know what else is scripted? Theater.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is action theater.
Yeah.
Right. Like you have sword fights on stage.
Yeah.
And if you're doing Hamlet or whatever, Macbeth or something, Macbeth is crazy. Hamlet's crazy. There's going to be fights. What if someone accidentally gets hit or gets poked or something, right, in the eye or whatever? Like,
well,
you're
going
to say, oh, it's all scripted. Who cares?
Yeah, but when you have action theater like this, and you see some of the matches, like AJ Styles doing a Styles Clash, where if you don't tuck your head in the right way, you're basically falling right on your neck. Or you have one of those belly-to-belly overhead suplexes, which is
going to be like Ben now.
Yeah. Or you have, Seth Rollins' buckle bomb. That's another one that's hurt people. Like these guys, like I don't know how Austin Theory doesn't kill someone with that like neck breaker of his, or he brings the guy's head across the knee. Yeah, Austin broke his neck. And that was Owen Hart. That wasn't some jabroni doing that. Right. That was like one of the best technical wrestlers ever. And he screwed up and he broke Steve Austin's neck.
I saw that match and that was
hard to watch.
Not good.
No, that was hard
Edge
to watch.
Too, yeah, Edge as well.
Edge, yeah. Saw Edge happen.
I don't know.
Brock Lesnar almost killed himself doing a moonsault.
I mean, and so, you know what's really weird? It's like some of these things, Cirque du Soleil risks their lives. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen Cirque du Soleil live twice. That's a killer show. It's worth every penny. It's crazy. But like, yeah, I don't know, man. And well, the Owen Hart or the Owen Austin, I mean, that move was done 4 million times.
Yes.
Like, it's not some weird new move or some stupid thing. It's like, we've seen these like 1 million times, these pile drivers, or Paul
Orndorff's finisher was the pile driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a craft.
Yeah. I don't think the wrestlers, I think now more than ever, the wrestlers, especially the good ones, get recognized for how good they are, because you have got to be phenomenal.
Right.
I remember Mick Foley talking about this. He said, you always want it to look like it hurts, but it doesn't.
Right.
The worst is if it doesn't look like it hurt and it did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, they would say that with Bruce Lee. Like he'd come on and he'd be like, okay, and he's really punching people. And they're like, yeah, but this doesn't look that good. And it looks kind of slow. And so then they'd have to tell Bruce Lee, oh no, it was too fast. Like, you're going too fast and the hits don't look that good, even though they're really getting hit. So they're really getting hit, but he's going too fast. So it's like the camera's not picking up the motion. So it's like, you got to slow down and not hit the guy. It's like, huh? Like, I've been watching all of this stuff on Bloodsport because it's one of my favorite movies.
right.
With Van Damme, and just talking about choreography and like they wanted to make it different than the Shaw Brothers style like kung fu where it's like fast hits and all that.
Yeah.
Like it's like almost like a choreographed fast hit dance, right? And I love Shaw Brothers. I'm almost on I've got 2 more movies left, and I've seen everything in the collection now. But like it's like Bloodsport, they wanted to do like more power hits, and it's like, you know, like when there's a hit, there's a good hit, you know, and it's like, yeah, there's ways to shoot that to make it look good, right? And that's the thing. Just Joe.
Yep. And that's because
Yes.
they were trusted. Because if you ever saw a Tombstone, it never looked.
Yeah, and plus because okay, so the other I should get my toys out. I need to have toys, but like you go like this,
yeah,
and the guy would like fall this way, but the Tombstone you kneel down,
yeah,
so you can because it's like this, you can control it better if you're kneeling forward and down. You can hold them up, and you'll know where the knees go. That the head heart the Tombstone does not look that great.
No,
like if you really look, the head is never really hitting that.
Right.
The pile driver, because Stone Cold's head was like too much in,
yeah,
or too much down, and it like he went right on top of his head. It was brutal. I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Vader was probably the hardest hitter.
He was the worst.
He was. Right.
And he was, yeah. Well, man, like Thing loves Vader. My buddy Sean, not Sean, who's not the guy, Sean, you know, the other Sean. Man, he loved Vader. He did look cool. He was
Vader,
just like this. It's like this big guy had that friggin' like cool mask or whatever. And it's like, oh, he would just destroy guys. But it's like you can't work with that guy.
Vader was supposed to do something. I don't remember why, but he was supposed to, like, what was supposed to happen was, I think, like, Harvey, like, he was supposed to break Foley's nose or something, or make it look like he. And he's like, and Foley said, like, the dumb son of a bitch hit me like 5 times in the face. He's like, he finally said, stop hitting me, right? Because don't forget, Foley lost his ear to Vader. That it was in Germany.
I didn't know it was to Vader.
It wasn't really Vader's fault. What it was is Foley had, it wasn't Vader's fault. Foley had that thing where he got stuck. You remember he got stuck in between the ropes?
Yeah.
Well, the ropes were too tight. They were wound too tight. This is in Germany. And he was literally like getting strangled. So he tried to, they got him out finally. So, and of course, Vader's like doing his who's the man thing where it's like, he's like, I'm dying here. Like, help me. And eventually, like, because it was so tight, it actually pushed his ear off his head when he got out from between the ropes.
Oh, shit. That's nasty, man.
Yeah.
Mick Foley did too much damage to himself, and I don't think people appreciated it. And even if they did, it's still too much damage. That's I don't like seeing someone doing all this. It's like in my mind, it's like it's too much. I don't need that. I don't know why he felt the need that he needs to do that to be loved more, perhaps.
I think it was because he didn't think anyone cared about him unless he went to those lengths. And plus, the thing is that he wrestled in Japan, and the Japanese matches are absolutely insane. Those are the guys who use C4, they use barbed wire, they use nails and boards.
Mm-hmm.
Like the stuff that they do there is like Terry Funk wrestled there, and Terry Funk is the most crazy too. Is insane.
Chair these
chair match.
I don't like it. I don't like. You know what? I don't like the
shots to the head, and it was.
I don't. Yeah, Mick was hardcore. I know. Yeah, Mick was a hardcore worker. I don't like the extreme matches. Actually, I don't like it. I don't think that someone needs to go through that for my entertainment. I'm actually very okay with the no blood, no blade jobs. I'm very okay with that. I don't like it. I feel I go with Penn and Teller, who I have a lot of respect for. They always say that in their tricks, there should never, ever be a point where someone would actually be hurt. Right. He goes, there's never, and just like wrestling, there should not be something because like you can't learn to fall on tacks. Like, you know, like you can learn to to fake a punch and make it look good, and you fall down like, oh, you know, you could learn to pretend your arm's getting hurt, you know.
Yeah.
You can't learn to get, like, if someone hits you in the face with like a barbed wire thing, it's like you can't learn that. Like, it's like you got hit, and now it's like, or where they put all those tacks and bolts and nuts, and they throw you on that, and then you get up and there's like tacks stuck in you. And they showed that in The Wrestler, the Mickey Rourke movie.
Yeah.
And that's real. Like, that's really happening. That wasn't fake. I mean, the movie's fake, but I mean, that's portraying realistic things. And you're like, why is this happening? Like, why do I need to see that?
And you saw this live. I didn't. I've watched the match several times since then. The very infamous Hell in a Cell with Undertaker.
Oh, I saw that when it was on. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's break down what happened. Foley allowed himself to be thrown off the top of a cell through a frigging table. He literally ended up half like into front row. Like his legs were in the front row. He I think he pierced his kidney or his liver. Like, it was like ridiculous. They were taking him off. He decided to go back up, and he went to the top of the cell. The fall off the top of the cell was planned. The next thing, though, was he took a choke slam on top. This wasn't planned.
Yeah.
He went down, and he hit one of the old rings, not the new rings. The new rings bounce. The old rings had no give to him, so he hit that, and then the steel chair followed him down and hit him right in the face. That's why his tooth was in his nose.
Yeah. Oh.
At that point, he's out. You can see it during the match. He's out. He's no longer, you know, sound mind and body.
Yeah.
And they're trying to like buy him time, but I'm like, what are you buying him time for? He's not cognizant. He's finished the match, and he allowed himself to be choke slammed into the tacks after all that. And I'm like, and Jim Ross, I think, was legit when he said, stop the damn match. Like, this is insane. We're seeing a man get murdered in front of our eyes. This is not entertaining.
Right. It's not entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I super agree with that.
God bless those guys, man.
I seen Yokozuna live in front of me in the car, and as they were driving off, I told this story last time where I went up to the cars and they were in the car. Yokozuna was the entire back seat. Lex Luger was driving with Yokozuna in the back seat, and in the front seat was someone else.
Was that Razor Ramon? Was that Scott Hall?
Scott Hall was, yes. Scott Hall was the passenger, and I went up and tapped on the window.
Yeah.
So Lex Luger was driving the car, Razor Ramon was next to him, and Yokozuna was the entire back seat. And I think Fuji was like somehow shoved next to him. I'm like, this is outrageous.
Oh my God. Deep fried turkey tails with mayonnaise.
I do love mayonnaise. Okay. Yeah. I think we'll end off there because I try to keep these under an hour, but there wasn't much to talk about, so it was okay to make me go a little bit. Okay, so we'll be back Thursday night, Sean and I talking about Spider-Man number 330, 331, and every comic that came out in February of 1990. And then we'll be back here for a week from today, and then we'll bring the Phantom Zone stuff back in a little bit. That is it. See you Thursday.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.